Good morning. Thank you for joining us here at Unity of Walnut Creek. It's such a pleasure to have your consciousness joining ours as together we touch that beautiful love and wisdom that uplifts everyone. Today we get to take a journey into one of those deep healings that's so important for all of us. And we have the magnificent music of our choir to support that journey. Thank you for joining us and knowing with us the beauty and the magnificence of the spiritual being that you are.
Good morning and welcome to Unity Center, or Unity of Walnut Creek. My name is Rick Stober and I will be your assistant conductor today while Sheila's back at the village. Please rise and join us in singing the good old Irish hymn, Be Thou My Vision.
Joyful Norris Choir. Yeah. There's no better way to open the service, eh? Yeah. And the special guest director, again, our own Rick Stober. Thank you, Rick. Well, my name is Ron Salazar. I am a licensed Unity teacher, and it is my pleasure to welcome you to our spiritual home, Unity of Walnut Creek. If you would please turn around and wave to the folks on the web. Thank you very much for joining us, and know that your presence is very important to us. And if you are new to Unity, it is my privilege to welcome you with a warm-hearted, extended welcome. Thank you for being here. Unity is a positive spiritual path What this means is that when God expresses through you, God expresses individually. And when you're in your true self, there's no better place to be. I mean, look at me. Who wears a three-piece suit to Unity of Walnut Creek? And you gotta admit, I look good and I feel good. Gracias. So another truth is that we celebrate the many spiritual paths that are on our globe that moves us to that divine presence within us all. So you may hear music or teachings from those different paths, but we celebrate them all because we know they are the truth. So let us focus within and say our affirmation prayer. So if you take a deep breath, there is only one presence and one power in the universe and in my life, the all-loving goodness of God. And take a deep breath and let that in. And say it again. There is only one presence and one power in the universe and in my life, the all-loving goodness of God. And take a deeper breath and just let that soak into your heart. And once more. There is only one presence and one power in the universe and in my life, the all-loving goodness of God. Please remain seated and join us in our next musical selection, In the Presence.
Take that deep breath through our hearts as gently we move our awareness to this place of spiritual connection for our time of prayer and meditation together. Gently turn within and invite the music to be that guide as we enter into the very center of our hearts.
When I pray, I feel my heart go deeper. My heart go deeper into my God. When I pray, I feel my heart go deeper. My heart go deeper into my God. Right here, right now, right where I am, I pray. Right here, now, right where I am, I pray.
And so we enter into that experience of prayer. Mother, Father, God, awaken us to know you more deeply, more completely, to become aware of your presence, of your care, of your love and blessing through every moment of our lives. For we acknowledge that we can step from those places of worry or concern that we carry, just as we step from darkness, nighttime, into dawn and a new day. As we enter that light, we remember that the light of God surrounds us. We feel that love that you are in us, through us, caring for us, blessing us, healing us. The love of God enfolds us here, now. We feel that strength, that power, that is pure, radiant goodness that brings the protection and care as we journey in our awakeness. The power of God protects us. For we know that the presence of God watches over us every moment. For we always walk in this divine love. It's wisdom, it's care. Where we are, God is. For this divine love is here within our hearts. This power flows through our lives. This wisdom guides every step. And from that we touch that place of peace from which we can enter into sacred stillness. So we follow that simple direction given by the Master. Peace. Be still. Peace. Be still. Peace. Be. so grateful. So grateful to know your presence. So grateful to experience your radiant life. So grateful to have the clarity of your wisdom. So grateful to be able to create harmony, wholeness, peace through your love. And so we take this love and we send it forth that it might touch others, heal, bless, and uplift them. First, we begin by sending this love to our own bodies for health, well-being, wholeness, vitality. We send it to our minds and hearts for greater wisdom and understanding. And now we radiate this love from our hearts and we send it to each one dear to us. For we know that this love touches each one in their point of need. And it heals, it blesses, it brings forth wholeness, wisdom, abundance, and peace. We radiate this love from our hearts and send it across the spiritual community, that it might flow through each one, blessing them and everyone in their world. This love flows through our hearts to all who join us in prayer as we hold every prayer request brought here, knowing with each you are enfolded in divine love and lifted to that which is the highest. And this love flows through our hearts. It flows across the communities in which we live, across our nation and on to touch all the peoples of the world, calling forth wisdom and peace. And this love which flows from our hearts, we send to all who join us in prayer, whether in mosque or synagogue, temple or church, whether gathered at home or on the hillsides. For in seeking to know you, we are all one. And this love flows from our hearts. It blesses this beautiful earth, calls forth harmony in all her systems, blessings to her creatures. And we send it about the earth that it might touch the heart of every single person in the earth. For you are that love in every heart. And in this love, we are one. Divine love flows through my heart, enfolding and blessing the world. Please join me. Divine love flows through my heart, enfolding and blessing the world. Again, divine love flows through my heart, enfolding and blessing the world. And once again, divine love flows through my heart, enfolding and blessing the world.
Right now, right where I am, I pray.
And it is so here, now, in that amazing presence of divine love within each one. Amen.
the eyes of my heart, Lord. Open the eyes of my heart. I want to see you. I want to see you. To see you high and lifted up, shining in the light of your glory. Pour out your power and love as we sing, holy, holy, holy. Holy, holy, holy. Holy, holy, holy. Holy, holy, holy. I want to see you. Open the eyes of my heart, Lord. Open the eyes of my heart. I want to see you. Holy, holy. I want to see you. Open the eyes of my heart, Lord. Open the eyes of my heart. I want to see you. Holy, holy. I want to see you. Holy, 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 holy. Holy, 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 holy. I want to see you. I want to see you.
Thank you. Good morning. My name is Jennifer Hooker, and it's my pleasure to highlight a few of the many upcoming events here at Unity of Walnut Creek. Today at 2 o'clock, please join Garrett Rieg for Forgiveness and Joy, a Course in Miracles workshop. This will be an overview of A Course in Miracles and its revolutionary view of forgiveness. Uplift your heart, transform your thinking, and improve your relationships. You've probably heard about this thing called radical forgiveness. Have you been wondering what all the fuss is about? Well, next Sunday afternoon, please join Sheila Gautreaux for a 1-hour introduction. Get your questions answered and have a first-hand experience of one of the powerful tools of radical forgiveness. And our spiritual learning classes will begin on the 4th Monday. We have a wide variety of powerful, thought-provoking, educational, and uplifting classes to choose from. And to find out more about these activities and all the other wonderful events we have here at Unity of Walnut Creek, please consult your bulletin and/or our website. And until you hear the gong, please enjoy taking a short moment to greet the people immediately around you.
Right place, right time. Good to have you guys. Yeah. So when I hear that, it always makes me a little uneasy. Because what I have found is when I'm at the right place at the right time, Spirit shows up and gives me an assignment. Okay. So, and I noticed that I was feeling a little bit like that guy on Mission Impossible. You know, where you open the thing and your mission, should you choose to accept it. That my only challenge with that is when Spirit gives an assignment, I know we have to accept it. So I've had a sense that we've been given an assignment. And one of the wonderful things I know, as opposed to Mission Impossible, is that when we're given an assignment by Spirit, it's about mission fulfillment. And when I was recognizing that there was a spiritual assignment that had come to our community, I remembered the words from our mission statement. In loving community, we empower spiritual growth by modeling and teaching universal spiritual principles. It's that modeling part that always gets me. So I want to share with you this understanding that I believe there is an assignment that we have the honor of taking on. And I feel it's been brought to us because part of our work here, and we know and understand this, is that we are involved in the healing that is taking place in humankind as we grow into a greater level of consciousness. Now, my understanding of that assignment is that it is time to heal the relationship pain that we carry. Time to heal the relationship pain that we carry. Now, one of the ways that I began to recognize that assignment was in the words that I was hearing. I was hearing words that separate. Words that diminish. Words that blame. Words that have righteous indignation, which is called self-justified anger. I know because I have practiced it a number of times in my life. Words that express a need for control instead of compassion. Words that express fear and the need to run away instead of be present. And when we hear our words and we see words that separate, they're natural, they're normal, they're a part of life. They're actually a healthy part of life at one level of our being. Because what happens is when we carry hurt, and my guess, if we've been in relationships, we carry some. When we carry hurt within us, our mind wants to take and protect us. It wants us to survive. So it does this thing where it wants to project and blame and help us separate from whatever it is associating with that pain. And so it does it by words that separate. Okay? And there's a time, perhaps, where that's very helpful to us. And then we start on that experience called spiritual awakening. And we're invited into something different. Instead of separation, we're given the assignment of healing. Because our real goal is the wholeness and beauty of the spiritual being we each are. expressing itself fully. That's what we're here for. Now, one of the things I'm so appreciative of is, as I was hearing those words and recognizing that this was our assignment, there were a lot of wise words, too. There were a lot of words of understanding, of compassion, of responsibility, and of caring. Words of healing and connecting. So, there is, before we even step into a place of healing, there is always for us a place of wholeness already created. So I was looking at this assignment and realized part of the recognition of what was taking place in the words that I was seeing was this thing that Jesus did. And as much as I kind of always hate to read this one, every now and then I have to, just for me. So I'll share it with you. Why do you look at the speck of sawdust in your brother's eye and pay no attention to the plank in your own eye? Don't you hate that? You know, there's spirituality and then there's meddling. How can you say to your brother, let me take the speck out of your eye, when all the time there's a plank in your own eye? You hypocrite, first take the plank out of your own eye, and then you will see clearly to remove the speck from your brother's eye. Doggone it. What I hear in that expression is the awareness that when we are perceiving life from our heads, when we're interpreting everything as out there, that we need to control them, you know, the right, wrong, them, you know, you got to do it my way, whatever it is, that we are using that as to escape from the healing that is our real spiritual assignment. Until that is done, we hold the outer in its place. When we step into wholeness, the outer is free to change. Now, that's our assignment. Now, I'm aware within the relationship world and the male-female world and the working world and all that social stuff, there's wonderful social steps that have been happening in our society to help restore some wholeness, like the sexual harassment laws, these sorts of things, equality in the workplace, you know, things that are steps in the social world, and that's wonderful. But that's not our assignment. They don't know how to get to the place from which true harmony is created. We do. And that's ours to do. Now, I was really hoping that I'd get through the year of forgiveness without having something to forgive. Doggone it. So I know forgiveness is a part of this, because we've all been in those relationships. We've all gone through that thing of hurt and rejection, and gee, from the time we started as teenagers, stumbling our way through what's this relationship thing, and on into marriage, and then marriages, and you know, the exes and the presences and the ones that were and the ones that will be. You know, it's okay. There's stuff that happens in our human race, and it hurts. We carry hurt from those things. It's important to heal that. Now, yeah, it's forgiveness, and we're in the year of forgiveness, but no forgiveness today, okay? Promise me? No forgiveness today. We're going to do forgiveness next week, okay? Today we just got to get to a place where we can get ready for that. We got to get this beautiful spiritual power of ours flowing to this place within ours which has need. Now, there's many wonderful things about learning about forgiveness. We've got Garrett's wonderful Course in Miracles things this afternoon. Next Sunday, we've got Sheila's going to touch in on the radical forgiveness work. In a month or so, we are going to have a whole day where we work on the pain that has come into our world through the experience of prejudice. So beautiful, beautiful things before us, but no forgiveness today, okay? But then we get to the point, well, okay, what do we do about it? What do we do about this? Because we know we carry this stuff. Well, there's a story. Now, I always promise myself that I'm not going to repeat a story that I've done in the last couple of years. And this one's 3 years ago, which isn't quite long enough. But the image in there was so helpful for me in understanding this path to wholeness that I wanted to share it with you. It's the Beauty and the Beast story. Okay, and in this story, remember there's this merchant that starts out, and he's been successful, and then he's lost it, and he's successful, and he loses it, and finally he finds himself coming home, lost it all. He's in a dark forest in a storm, and he's lost his way. Not a bad introduction to entering into the spiritual path, is it? Okay, so what happens is he begins to see some light, and he enters, and suddenly they come out of this dark forest, and they're in the grounds of a beautiful castle. And he goes to the castle seeking shelter. He's exhausted, and he enters in, but he doesn't see anyone there. But everything that he needs is taken care of. There's food set out for him. There's a place prepared for him to sleep and rest. In the morning, there's a beautiful breakfast prepared. Oh, he leaves refreshed and renewed. And he's on his way to continue home when he's passing these beautiful rose bushes. And he remembers his daughter Beauty had asked for a rose. Now, all his other daughters, figuring he was going to go and come back with all this money, wanted stuff. But Beauty just wanted a rose. And so he takes and he picks that beautiful rose. And suddenly, a horrible beast appears. Ugly, terrifying. And he's frightened. And the beast says, I provided everything for you. But you had to go and take what was not given. For that, your life is forfeit. A little harsh, don't you think? But and of course, he's afraid. He doesn't know what to do. He tries to explain, well, it wasn't for me. It was for my daughter, Beauty, who said that she wanted a rose. And so the beast makes a deal with him. If his daughter will come and live there at the castle with the beast, he'll spare the man's life. And so the merchant takes this message and goes home, and Beauty says, of course, I have to do this. And so the father and Beauty enter from the dark forest into the castle grounds. And there, everything is provided. Easily, lovingly, beautifully. And that evening, they meet the beast. And the beast says, you're welcome to be here. You will be perfectly safe. All that I ask is that every evening you dine with me. The father goes, and Beauty enters into that experience. Everything that she wants is provided. But every evening, she has to sit down with the beast. Now, it's such a clear picture of our spiritual growth. That experience where we're done with the third dimensional world, the merchant thing. There's no really any value and satisfaction there. We know that. There's something greater, and we're seeking it. And so while we're in that world, it seems that we've lost our way, and then we step into the castle grounds. Jesus' term for that was kingdom of heaven. We understand it as where there is awareness of the goodness of God. The spiritual awakening that happens for us. So we step into the spiritual awakening. We step into this awareness of this divine presence, and we realize, I don't need to struggle. This divine love provides everything that I need. And yet, we pluck the rose. Now, the rose was what beauty had asked for. Because beauty is, now remember, when we have the female in the symbolic world, female is the feeling self. Okay, so it is the feeling part of the soul. The feelings of the growing soul want the rose. The rose is understanding, spiritual understanding. It is a beautiful awakening that happens within us. Spiritual understanding. And the difficulty is, once you take that rose, life as you know it is over. Good news, bad news. Okay? But something our hearts really do long for. And so our journey is really one of embracing and entering into spiritual understanding. But to do that, our feelings have to be willing to, first of all, step onto the castle grounds. That's our heart. That's where we experience that divine presence. Beautiful symbol, isn't it? And then on the castle grounds, we can feel that care. Everything is provided. But we have to sit down and dine with the beast. No, the beast is not the guys, and beauty is not the girls. Beauty is the feeling nature within every man and woman. It's part of the soul. The beast is that which we perceive as ugly within ourselves. We must deal with that in order to dwell in that consciousness, in that awareness of the abundance and the goodness of the divine. We have to sit down and be fully aware of that. In the story, it is the prince is cursed. The curse is pain. That's what gives the appearance of ugliness. It is our pain. We have to sit down and be with that pain. That's the journey. That's the assignment. So how do we do that? Well, entering the castle, entering that ground, stepping from the woods. Now, and my guess is, because Spirit always cooperates with me, that somewhere in this week there'll probably show up at least some form of remembering of that relationship pain we carry. Not that it doesn't all the time, it's just that we'll be aware of it. Okay? And that's our forest. And so we step into the castle ground. We enter the heart. One of the beautiful parts of this symbol, there is, everything is provided, the ease of being there. Breathe the feeling of ease. That's how we enter the heart. It's one of the beautiful ways to enter the castle grounds. Breathe ease. Do it with me. I breathe ease. That feeling. It's a heart feeling that has that sense of that beautiful provision of God all around us. I breathe ease. We're in the castle. And then dining with the beast. Okay. Now, in that experience, what happens is we give permission for ourselves to be aware of the pain that we carry. Now, if your head becomes aware, it's going to have to do what heads do. It's going to immediately start into blame and control. But because we then breathe ease, we enter into the heart, and then we can take those feelings and hold them in our heart. I breathe ease. I hold it in my heart. Hold it in your heart. Because your heart doesn't need to judge. Your heart knows the presence of God. It doesn't need to try and protect us from something that's not there. Its purpose is healing and wholeness. I breathe ease and hold it in my heart. Whenever it comes up, I breathe ease and hold it in my heart. Join me. I breathe ease and hold it in my heart. That feeling pops up again. I breathe ease and hold it in my heart. Now, we're going to fix it. Okay? We aren't going to decide it's wrong, right. We aren't going to do blame. We aren't going to do judgment. We're just going to breathe ease and hold it in our hearts. The heart can do that. It's the most beautiful, amazing thing. Now, what really happens when we do that? When we brought it to our hearts, we have invited our spiritual self, the power of the spiritual heart, to flow through us and to begin its work of healing. I ran across the experience of a woman who did this in what I found to be a fascinating way. Okay, she'd been divorced for 6 years when her ex-husband called and shared with her his situation of terminal cancer. Very short time that he was expected to live. Now, their relationship had been difficult. It had ended in divorce, which had been difficult. And it had continued difficult from that point. But what happened for her was a great concern for her children. They were teenagers, and they were about to lose their father. And for the past years, they'd had only very limited connection. And she wanted her children to know their father. So what she did was take the children, and they moved into the father's house. Okay. And took the effort to be there in that caregiving role, interacting with him through, when they moved in, he basically had about 10 months until he made his transition. But it was a time when it was very meaningful for the children to experience their father through this time, and as you might guess, it had some very beautiful, sweet moments to it. And I think the word she used was a few meltdowns. Now, the difficulty for her was being there brought up the pain that she carried from that relationship. Okay, things that he would say or do would stimulate that hurt that had been a part of her experience. But she hit a point where she realized what was going on. Now, I got to say, she did in an outer way what we're planning on doing in an inner way. Take a deep breath, relax. I am not suggesting that anyone move in with their exes. Okay, it's safe here. Yeah, it's okay. But it put her in that place of seeing what happened within her. And as she watched, she realized there were two things. There were his behaviors, and then there were emotional reactions within her. And as she watched it, as she was there, she was sitting at the table with the beast in her, the hurt. She began to understand. She saw within her ex a great deal of anger. And as she watched, she understood that it came from fear. Now, she didn't share where that fear came from. She didn't say if it was a result of his experience in the war, or if it was a result of things that had happened in his childhood or after. But most of us know that experience, don't we? She realized in that watching herself the fear that governed his experience. And that was his. She says, the minute I stopped judging my ex-husband's action, I broke the link between his behaviors and my emotions. I could view his actions without judging them. I no longer felt any emotion towards his conduct. By separating his actions from my emotions, I created space in my heart where I planted the seeds of empathy and compassion, and forgiveness began to grow. Okay. That's all we're doing. Just hanging out with our own beast. There are hurts, however they came about. And we understand what the mind does. But we also understand what the Spirit does. It invites us into true wholeness. So, my guess is, again, we're going to get this, something coming up. Would you be willing to take these next weeks and commit with me to work on healing this within ourselves, and in so doing, within that greater pattern of humankind? Would you be willing to join me in that? Okay. It's a powerful thing. It's not an easy thing. Okay. I know I avoid sitting down with a beast every chance I get. But I also know there's a time and place to do it. And that the power of and the healing of the love that is inviting me to that table is what I trust in. So when it comes up, see that feeling? I breathe ease and hold it in my heart. Take that feeling right into your heart. Together. I breathe ease and hold it in my heart. You can do that. So many things happen there. Again, I breathe ease and hold it in my heart. It might be compassion. It might be understanding. It might be just neutral. Nothing. Just letting it be. Again. I breathe ease and hold it in my heart. Just holding it there for this week. We'll get on to healing next week. Okay. But it's important to remember the real mission. Yes, we need to enter that castle ground and breathe ease. Yes, we need to take that pain and hold it in our heart. Because we're on a journey to a place called happily ever after. Bless you.
Thank you. Our heart ministers are available after the service today to offer prayer support for challenges or celebrations. And you may see them in the sanctuary, on the grounds, on the patio, and they are the ones wearing the lavender stoles. And at any time, you can send a prayer request from our website. I ask everyone to please take a connection card from the seat pocket in front of you. And we invite you to take a moment to fill out this card if you have a prayer request, a question, or a comment. And if you're new to Unity, we'd love to get to know you better, so please go to the welcome table out on the patio after the service. Our spiritual focus this week is, I breathe ease and hold it in my heart. The ushers will receive your card with the offering toward the end of the music. It's time for our prosperity celebration. For credit card donations, there are envelopes provided on the clipboards on the seats in front of you. And for those of you watching at home, just click on the donate button on our Watch Live page. Unity's co-founder, Charles Fillmore, taught that our spiritual connection opens us to God's abundance expressing in our lives. Poverty or prosperity, it all depends on you. All that the Father has is yours, but you alone are responsible for the relationship of the Father's good to your life. Through conscious recognition of your oneness with the Father and his abundance, you draw the living substance into visible supply. I invite you to take your tithe or offering in your hand and be aware that God is the source of all your good. Please join me with our affirmation. Divine love through me blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive.
It's about kindness, it's about hearts open wide.
All right. So embrace these beautiful beings with your heart. Let's share our blessing together. Children, you are loved, special, and important. The light of God shines through you. And let's stand and share together our prayer of protection. Together, the light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. And the presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well. And our peace song. The love and the light and the peace in the earth right now. So let it shine and have fun.